Hello. Thank you so much for joining live, especially to Melissa, where it's 7 a.m. in New Zealand. Wow. Very fun. So, I do not have slides for this one today. I'm just gonna riff. So, you want to do all the lead up and build up and all the stuff. I just have an outline and we're gonna talk. So, Organize October. This is week 4 out of 5. This is the last cleaning week, unless you really do think of cleaning up your attitude as a thing. Next week, the week 5 is going to be all about your attitude. So we have spent some time cleaning the kitchen, the living room and entryway, your bedroom, and now this week the focus is to pick one bathroom to work on. So you can choose. It doesn't have to be the worst bathroom. You don't have to pick the kids' bathroom, but you might want to. The point is that the goal here is to focus in on one and not pick everything. Because that is our tendency, right? To think, I'm going to do all the things. I want everything completely clean at the same time. And I'm going to get to the point where everything is in the state that I want it to be in. And we're trying to step back from that and limit our focus so that we can actually see that we can make progress, and we notice the visible progress more when we narrow in on a smaller chunk of space, a smaller amount of time, a smaller amount of space. So this is why we use a timer, and it's also why we narrow our focus to a single area. Yes, Sally says, this is the one I have been dreading. I hate cleaning bathrooms. We are going to talk about why that is, because that is so common. And if anything, if there's been one comment that I get the most when I talk about simplified organization, learn to love what must be done. And there's a chapter on routines and whatever, and it's about having a good attitude about your housework. Not just the perfect system to get it all done, but actually coming to love doing housework. Is that even possible? And it is possible. And that's what we're working on. That's what my book is about. Simplified Organization, Learn to Love What Must Be Done. It's about learning to love it, not just get it done and out of the way. And if there's been one comment I've heard the most whenever I've talked about, or people have asked me about the book and I tell them, then they say, well, that's fine for most of it, but what about cleaning the toilets? Like, even cleaning the toilets, really learning to love cleaning the toilets? Are you crazy? Or that's actually impossible for me? Am I broken? Because that seems inconceivable to love that. And is it something that needs to be done? Yes. Then yes, I do mean learning to love even cleaning the toilets. So we're going to talk about that today and see if it is possible. Okay. Several people are saying definitely the kids' bathroom or the guest bathroom, because some guests are coming. So you might want to choose the kids' bathroom because that's probably going to be the worst one. But you might, after putting a week into your bedroom, if you have a master bathroom, like maybe you're just extending into your own bathroom. Kathy says, the more I declutter and get the area set up in a way I love, the more I enjoy housework. This is so true. It's a part of tending, right? That which we pay attention to, what we attend to, what we tend, it's putting our affections there. And so the affections actually grow in the place where you plant them. And so why would I want to plant my affections in the bathroom? That kind of seems weird and maybe gross. But if your bathroom's not gross, then it isn't. And so if your affections are there, you're going to tend to want your bathroom to not be gross. Let's see, Jill says, my number one bathroom frustration is that every time I enter or see a bathroom, the floor rugs are askew. I've given up on rugs in the bathroom because they just get too bad too quickly. If it's wet on the floor, someone can wipe it up, and then that becomes laundry right away. And instead, I don't know, we just have not figured out getting bathroom mats that either dry out. Maybe that's the problem. Anyway, our bathroom floors are just bare. The towels clean it up and become laundry, which is a little bit more laundry, but that's better than things that should be laundry living on the floor and not becoming laundry. This is another reason why I picked one bathroom. Naomi says we have 10 people showering and bathing in one bathroom, and it goes from clean to gross so quickly. Yes, there's that different. You can have a lot of people in just one bathroom, in which case it's a lot of work to keep that bathroom up. Or you can have, it doesn't matter how many people, and a lot of bathrooms. And that's a lot of work to keep up because it's just more space and more toilets, more sinks. So it's like clean one. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up working out to be about the same, right? All that effort and time needing to go into one bathroom because it's being used that heavily, or the use is being spread out over lots of bathrooms, but that means there are lots of bathrooms to clean. No matter what, you probably have one bathroom anyway. So you're going to pick the one that makes the most sense for you to put a week of focus into improving. And this is where, if you are in Convivial Circle, this would be a great week to share your hot tips for bathroom cleaning. We have a channel in there for hot tips. And some of my favorite cleaning routine or cleaning hacks for the bathroom have come from Convivial Circle, mostly Sweep and Smile when we're working through there. Someone said that for cleaning the bathtub and the shower, she uses one of the dish brushes that has the automatic, you fill it with soap for the washing dishes. She has it in the bathroom. And she fills that little dispenser part on the brush with a little bit of dish soap and then the rest with white vinegar. And then brush that all around. And it does work wonders. And it doesn't really need to be rinsed. It gets off a lot. So that's been one of my favorite bathroom cleaning tips that I've been using for years now, ever since learning about it in Convivial Circle. So if you have bathroom cleaning tips and you're in Convivial Circle, I see many members here. So share your bathroom cleaning tips in the Hot Tips channel this week. That would be great. It works so well. My other tip is Mr. Clean Magic Erasers when things are really bad. They just cut to the chase and get it all clean fast. Is it her boss or her client that is the Airbnb owner? Someone she was doing cleaning for gave her supplies to use at the house, and it was called pink stuff. And so it's a paste kind of thing. And that also works really great for showers or sinks that need a little bit of extra attention. So let's talk though about learning to love the housework and what's really going on with the bathroom and why we hate cleaning it so much. Why is it the worst? Why do the bathrooms become the worst places? And then why do we avoid cleaning them? As I'm assuming here that I'm not the only one who avoids cleaning the bathroom. One thought that struck me that really shifted my attitude about cleaning the bathroom several years ago. I was cleaning the kids' bathroom and being grossed out and had a bad attitude and was grumbling about doing the work in there and really wishing that my kids would keep up their own space better. And as I was cleaning it, I thought about that my bathroom got to a similar level fairly regularly. And when it did, that's when I would clean it. If I do clean the bathroom and I keep it up, like the bathroom is pretty much the only space where if I keep it up and it doesn't get disgusting and it just stays nice to use, people notice. My husband notices. And you know what? That because I do tend to be, I very quickly fall into the boom and bust cycles where you go all in, you clean everything and it's sparkling. Then you're like exhausted. You're like, okay, I did it. And so you write it off and I'm not going to have to do that again. And the bathroom is a terrible place for boom and bust. And it's like the hardest one to not boom and bust in because it's, okay, that was a huge job. Now I've done it. Check and ignore. But the bathroom gets gross the fastest. Maybe the kitchen would, but we tend to normally put more time in the kitchen and we know we need to be washing the dishes. So some of that tending upkeep work is way easier to build in and become natural because you can cook and then put something away, or you just walk through the kitchen or you get something and you can start to become the kind of person who just puts a little bit more order in the places where the bathroom is not a workspace. We go in and it's a refreshment space, a hygiene space, and a reprieve space. And we don't really think about working there. Like we have to go in with a different mode than we're usually in that space to clean it. But we can shift that. And it really works way better when we do shift that mindset. So I think the bathroom, okay, so the insight that just the thought that struck me years ago when I was cleaning the kids' bathroom with a bad attitude. I got convicted of the bad attitude and I was trying to think, all right, how can I not, it doesn't even seem possible to me to not have a bad attitude about cleaning the kids' bathroom. What's satisfying about this? Because I'm going to clean it. They're going to use it and just make it terrible again. And what is the point? And I realized the point is dignity. The point is bestowing dignity on my children, on my family, on guests that might use that bathroom. And I think it's easiest to see when we think about it in terms of guests. It's so nice if you do have a powder room or a guest bathroom that like maybe other people don't use so it doesn't get as gross as quickly. We had that at our previous house, just a half bath powder room. Okay. Kids, your bathroom is like just as close. You use that one. This one is for guests. And so we can keep it mostly fine most of the time. And why do we care about that? It's because it is disrespectful. It's inhospitable. It is unkind. It's embarrassing for good reason to have a guest come in to a bathroom and expect them to use a bathroom that's gross. Right? You're saying something about what you think they're worth, right? It wasn't worth it to me to have a clean bathroom for you to use. And if that's true for guests, it's actually the same is true for our family and for ourselves as well. What are you worth? Is it worth your hygiene space be clean or not? Is it worth the effort? And there was a time in my life where I said it's not worth the effort. And then I realized that was wrong. It was just wrong. It is a big part of the problem. I think we see this with the bathroom more clearly than any other housework. The problem is an inherent disrespect for housework. And so we think cleaning the bathrooms is what is beneath our dignity. We have too much dignity to have to stoop to cleaning bathrooms, when actually what we are giving to ourselves and to anyone else who uses that space, we're giving dignity by cleaning that space. And so this is a mindset about housework that goes back to antiquity. This is not a modern problem, actually. This is a human problem where we think, oh, cleaning the bathroom previously in previous cultures, ancient cultures, other times, you'd say that's the work for slaves to do. I am above that. And so this is one of those spaces where we have that kind of mindset that says, I am above cleaning the bodily fluids of other people. But just think about how actually misguided that is. Like, maybe sometimes we have that feeling with babies, but do we really as mothers? That's what mothers do, right? There's spit up, there's diapers, we're changing outfits, and that's a part of our job. It's how we're loving the child and raising him and taking care of him and showing to him and to ourselves and to the world that he is a human being worth respect and value by how we keep him clean and care for his bodily needs in this very visceral way. Then it's not that big of a stretch or big of a step to say, I can clean the toilet. And actually cleaning the toilet once or twice a week for 5 children is actually way better than changing even one baby's diaper multiple times a day. If I think about it in terms of, okay, but I don't want to deal with people's bodily fluids. You did when they were a baby way more. Now just to think about how much less this is than what you did before. And this is basic human care. Or if you think of caretaking as a job, and there are some people's job where this is part of they're helping older people or disabled people use the bathroom, clean up after themselves. Like, this is actually just human care that is fundamental and foundational. When we do that, we are giving human kindness and care and dignity to that person. And it is dignified and valuable work to do that. It's not demeaning to myself to give dignity to someone else, right? It's a human tendency to think that way. Like, if I'm elevating someone else's needs, that must mean I'm diminishing my own. But if we think about the way God actually created the world and set it up to run, the world doesn't work that way. Now, people can demean other people for sure, but to serve someone else isn't demeaning. This is what Jesus was teaching when he said to wash the feet of the disciples, or when he washed his disciples' feet. He was saying, you think of taking care of the body as being demeaning, but it isn't. Even I care about you and I value you, and so I'm willing to do this. To not diminish Jesus's worth or dignity or anything at all to do that. He was showing reality to his disciples and to us, it by extension, since he had it recorded for our benefit, to flip our fallen way of thinking on its head. It really is a fallen, flipped way of thinking that we can see originated with Satan. So Satan was created as an angel, where his job was to serve and worship God. And he saw that as because he then wasn't, he was giving, he wasn't receiving, he wanted to, that wasn't good enough for him. He viewed that as demeaning and wanted to exalt himself above God and take worship rather than give it. But actually, the glory of angels is giving worship. It's their glory to give that worship. And so, whenever we take on that view of seeing giving of ourselves as demeaning, it's an inherently fallen, sinful way of thinking. It's wrong. It's just actually reality flipped on its head. It's Satan's way of thinking, not Jesus's way of thinking. And so he showed us the more excellent way. He showed us the way things really work. And that is that giving, and he gave of himself ultimately and received his life back, right? He rose from the dead. He didn't stay dead. He's risen. Glory and life comes from laying it down. This is how God works in a cycle. You give and it elevates others, and you also are elevated in that. So even though the bathroom can get gross, and it's not like you have to relish it, there still actually is a joy that you can have in restoring cleanliness and providing a place that is clean for people to become clean, and provide a place that's comfortable and available and dignified, a hygienic place for hygiene. Like, you're helping the place match its task. This is a place where we come to clean ourselves, so it should be clean. It's fitting and appropriate. And so we can find joy and satisfaction in serving other people's bodily needs instead of wishing that we didn't have bodies or that our people didn't use their bodies properly. I think it's some of the worst. It's like when you wake up in the middle of the night and a kid has puked all over the bathroom, just like all over. And you're like, okay, this is my job right now. And it's how I'm loving my sick child. This is what we're going to deal with. And I can do that in love and care, even though I don't have to like cleaning up puke. But I can love my child. And what needs to be done is cleaning up my child's puke. The work is how you are showing your love for your child. So you are loving the job itself as well. There is something to answer the stomach rising, like the physical distaste for it is overcome when we see the point and we're able to work for the point instead of what's in front of us, which again it's not like Jesus enjoyed giving himself on the cross, right? But he did it, the Bible says, for the joy that was set before him. So we can see beyond the gross thing in front of us for why we need to do it and see that responsibility and love it. So bathrooms are the place where our distaste for bodily functions comes out, but that is a mistaken mindset. And again, it's more of a ancient pagan problem that says, oh, the body, it's just our minds that matter. Now we might say our hearts that matter, and the body, it's going to be great when we're free from the body, because the body is a problem. That our body is what demeans us, and our body is gross, and if only we could be free of our body. That's not the way God thinks, because God made the body. And in the resurrection, he intends to resurrect our bodies. So God intends for humans to be embodied creatures. It's not a bad thing that we have bodily function. Now, they do misfunction, and I don't think that there's actually going to be puking in heaven, and there is now. But still, our bodies in and of themselves are a good thing. So we have to watch out and ask ourselves, is my instinctive distaste for the bathroom actually a distaste for being an embodied creature? And is cleaning the bathroom a way I can actually embrace the tending, upkeep, maintenance that bodies require? I am actually tending and caring for bodily needs. That's a part of my role as mom. Moms make bodies and then keep bodies clean and healthy and fed so they can grow. It's all part and parcel of the same work. And it's not beneath us, and it doesn't demean us to give ourselves to that work. And another thing we have to watch out for is blame shifting. Like saying, if you weren't so disgusting, I wouldn't have to do this work. All this work is, and I am all for making boys learn how to clean around a toilet themselves because it's clearly a skill they will need. I don't advocate that moms have to be maids going around cleaning up after everyone. A part of a mom's job is also equipping people to take care of themselves, for themselves, right? We want to raise up adults and not entitled, spoiled brats. But that still actually means we still have to do quite a bit of it ourselves without resentment or bitterness. And so if we start falling into complaining, grumbling, it often turns to blame shifting as well. And we want to really watch out for that, because what blame shifting, when it comes to housework, homemaking, if it weren't for this person's bad habits or just this person, the way they do things, I wouldn't have to do all this laundry or clean up this mess or whatever. If you stop and take your complaint or bitterness to its logical extension, like this would be so much better if it weren't for you. Is that really the thought you want to be cultivating in yourself and in your home? It isn't. So you have to replace it, right? And the way you replace it is with its opposite, with the truth. The lie is, I would be better off if you weren't here. And you're like, you being in our family is worth this work. I am willing to put in this time and energy to have you with us. I value you that much. And that is reality. And that is what we want to be cultivating and growing and expressing. And then as we are cleaning our bathrooms, I think of any place our bathrooms benefit the most from micro cleaning maintenance. So bathrooms get out of hand, and they do get gross. Like the buildup is just incredible. If you don't stay on top of it, it can get out of hand very quickly, especially depending on the kind of water you have, the amount of use your bathroom gets, the ages of your kids, the genders of your kids as well. It makes a difference. A small amount of attention, like 5 minutes or less, once or twice a day, makes it easy to keep things in hand. And then you really don't have any disasters and gross, extra scrubbing, huge cleaning project. Whereas if you just tackle it when it gets gross, then it's a big job. So the bathroom is where building up the small habits of leaving it better than you found it is huge payoff, huge benefit to just making that leave it better than you found it mantra a part of how you work. I look forward to seeing those reports for the bathroom and what you've learned and applied this week. These are some big ideas. And I wanted to also mention and remind you of the extra workshop sessions that we do have coming up that first week in November. So right after we finish Organize October and we put that attention into our homes, then before we know it, the holidays are going to be here. And it really is more about learning to love what must be done and organizing our attitudes and not just our house. It's not really about the stuff, it's actually about our hearts. So I am doing a workshop, a 3-day kind of master class on joy, choosing joy, enjoying your people, enjoying your home, enjoying your life. Instead of letting the news cycle and social media, which I'm sure is already spinning out of control. I don't know. I'm not paying attention. I'm sure it's going to only spin out of control more because I put this planned this right over election. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I put it right over that time very intentionally. This is what we need to be putting our mind on and learning to control is our own self, our own attitude, our own perspective and responses, and not give in to stress spiraling. Like, how can we step out of any kind of worry spiral, stress spiral, anxiety spiral? It's by doing the opposite, going to that opposite, replacing it with joy, which is possible. We know it's possible because God commands us to rejoice. It's a command. And what he commands, he equips us to do. So we just need to practice. We need to recognize that it's a command and therefore possible. Therefore, we're responsible for it. And we can walk faithfully with God. And that will look the way he says it looks. So that's the joy reset. We're going to talk about how we think, what we say, and what we do as all things that contribute to our joy, and that we can, no matter what happens, be full of joy if we are in Christ. And that looks a certain way, and that includes certain particular habits of mind, habits of perspective that work with joy. Yes, the Joy Reset Workshop is coming up, and I hope to see many of you there. It's a way to continue this learning and growing in small steps. It's really all of a piece. All of life goes together. It all functions together. Building up one area helps you become stronger in other areas, and it all works together because we are whole beings and families and households. We all affect one another as well. And it's definitely true of moms. Moms are the atmosphere of their home. So our joy and our ability to handle life really makes a difference for everyone. We're helping more than just ourselves when we figure out how to choose joy. So I hope to see you there as well. It's included if you're in Convivial Circle. You'll find it in the Master Classes section. It's included. Joy is actually our whole November focus. Convivial Circle. And I would love to see you there. If you aren't a part of that, you can also just join Convivial Circle. And there is a link on that page about the workshop as well if you want to join that way. All right. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing what you do in your bathrooms this week, and I will see you next week talking about attitude specifically.